Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jas Leverette, Cali K9, and Canine Intervention on Netflix. Today we want to go over some dope information for you. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. We're really excited to have you here, and let's go into teaching the dog how to sit. So the sit is so important because whenever you're dealing with interacting with new people, getting the dog to be under control, just doing anything, the first thing you usually do is teach them how to sit. So with the sit, it's going to be really about making sure they have value. So any behavior that they do, they have to have value for the behavior. So first and foremost, we want to make sure we have value. So the biggest thing you want to do is make sure you have a lure, some kind of food. Usually food is better than a ball because you don't have to fight to get the ball back. When you have food and the dog is hungry, they're going to be more inclined to just do what you want them to do. So by luring and incorporating this food here, then we can go ahead and lure the dog's head up to the butt will hit the ground, we'll reward the behavior while their dog's in the behavior, then they'll release the behavior. So we'll teach the dog how to start the behavior as well as finish the behavior. So a sit is very important because when you're going in and out of doors, you need them to sit. When you're meeting and greeting a new person, you need to sit. If you're doing a tie your shoe or you're grabbing groceries, you need them to sit. So a sit is pretty much a default behavior that happens all the time. So sit is super important, but a lot of times I see people, they get their dog to sit, but then the dog checks out. They just break from the sit on their own. So we want to teach not only a sit, but the release of a sit. So it's not going to just be the behavior, because who cares if the dog just does it momentarily for a piece of food? We want the dog to actually sustain it when the food goes away. So we're going to go into the first steps of teaching a sit using a lure. Now, the lure that I usually use is just a small piece of food. It doesn't always have to be a treat from a store. It could be a piece of chicken. You can get the chicken. You can boil a piece of a chicken breast, cut it into multiple pieces. You could take a piece of meat that's cooked, cut it into multiple pieces or uncooked, and make sure that you have very small pieces so then you can do a lot of repetitions. Because if you want a dog to actually sit, you want to make sure that you're doing rep after rep after rep after rep. We try to get thousands of reps in with every behavior we do. So a sit needs thousands of reps, a down needs thousands of reps, a come needs thousands of reps. But first you just use food by helping them lure into the position. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull my dog Slash out here, and we're just going to go through some basics on the typical movement on how to get the dog to sit. So a big part of when I'm training is I like to have some kind of training compartment. So a lot of times I use my training vest here because I have multiple pockets. I can reward the dog from this side, I can reward the dog from this side, I have pockets in the back. So all of this is all set up so I can get quick rewards and then to keep it spontaneous for the dog so he doesn't know whether it's coming from the right or from the left. And when I use my box, I usually like to use my Cali K9 box. Why? Because I have the top of the box as well as underneath the box. So when I'm teaching the dog to come into a recall into the box, the dog has the sides to keep them nice and straight. If I'm going to have the dog come to the heel position and stay in position, I have the dog come right here. So this is almost like a little garage that the dog pulls into, and it's really easy for the dog. So eventually we get rid of our training aids, but it's super clutch in teaching, and it makes it super easy for the dog to get what you were trying to get across to them, and they learn fast. What that does is that makes sure your dog not only knows what a sit is, but he also knows how to sit in a place. And then when you have him break, you break him off of that place, so it's very clear that that place is the isolated place where the dog needs to do the behavior. So right now I have some food, some basic treats in my pocket, and we're going to go ahead and show you how to sit. So another great thing about this box is when I'm socializing the dog, or I just want to teach the dog to stay, I have the box. Very clear, this is where I want the dog to be. If the dog gets off the box, I'm going to lure him back onto the box. We want to make sure the dog has super high value for the box, because when we utilize the box, we might do a box here and a box 50 feet away. But we want to make sure the dog understands the whole concept of box to box. So for heeling, we might go 3-foot heel, and then it might go from a 10-foot heel, then all the way to a 20-foot heel. But the dog understands the whole concept of box to box. Another thing is it keeps them nice and straight. It keeps them off the ground so they're not sniffing around, sniffing all the distractions of the world. So if you have the grass and you have different treats that maybe fell on the ground, the dog is able to stay up here on this elevated platform and focus on just being on this one place. So we use this box for a place. You can use your dog bed. You can use your dog elevated dog bed. You can even use a footstool. It just depends on what you have available. I highly recommend this box because it's very sturdy and it's durable, and you can take it anywhere. and it just is a great training tool to have. All right, guys, so a couple key elements to getting our dog to sit. Number one, we want to have our rewards. And I have these small bite-sized treats. I have the box here. I just see Slash loves the box because it comes with a lot of good stuff. When he gets on the box on his own, I just go ahead and give him a break. Good break. Good. So when he gets on the box on his own, I just go ahead and reward that behavior because that's what I want. Well, he's not even sitting right now, but I'm just gonna reward getting on the plate. So we never have to get everything done in one round. We can always just chip away at it, and he's gonna eventually learn. So, for example, for now, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the break and play. Break. I'm gonna build value for the release command that I was talking about. Break. Good. Break. Good. Good. Break. Yeah, so break's gonna be my release. So after the dog does a behavior, he gets a break. Break. So you see how he just voluntarily went on the box, right? And as he sees, that kind of behavior gets reinforced. Break. Good. Okay. So when I'm luring the dog on the box, I keep the treats right here in my hand. As you see, he's already getting on the box. So what I'm gonna do is just bring the treat nice and high. He automatically sits. I tell him good sit. Good. Try not to drop the treats. Good. Break. Good. Good. Again, I'm gonna lure him up to the box. Bring it up high. Automatic sit. Good sit. So this is what we call a sustainment marker. We want to make sure that the dog knows he's getting paid for doing it and getting paid to finish. Break. Okay. Step back up to the box. Dog automatically goes up. Automatically sits. Good. So dogs are very, very smart, so they understand what got them paid last time. So they're going to be more inclined to do it. So it's very important that you reward within about 2 seconds of the behavior so you know exactly what they're getting paid for. Good. And as he stays up there, good. Sit. I'll keep rewarding just to let him know that's what I want. Good. Break. Good. Give the command box. Good box. So once he starts doing it on his own, I'll start marking it. Good box. Good sit. Good. And when we sit, we also want to get a dog to focus because it's hard to have a dog fully engaged if they're looking off into space. So if you get them fully engaged and focus, break. Good. Box. Focus. Bring the treat up to your eyes. Good. Eyes. Break. Good. So it doesn't matter what command you use. Sometimes people use commands like box. You may say climb. If they're in a sit, they say good sit. Good. Some people say eyes. Some people say watch me. Some people say focus. I tend to use focus. Focus. Good. Now all behaviors are going to end up with a focus. So it's not really a command to focus. I want to just default the dog to always focus when he's working. Good. Break. Good. Good. One more time. Up. Sit. Focus. Good. Focus. Good. Focus. Break. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys learned a little bit about how to get your dog to sit. For more information, make sure you guys go to CaliK9.com where we have our online training. We have Zoom evaluations and training sessions as well as all of the scheduling for our board and train or our private and group training classes here in California. Hope you guys enjoyed your time today. See you guys on the next video. Peace.